Hello YouTube land. Today I'm going to show you how to hook up an Apple computer to a PC and transfer diskettes from said computer to the PC. Originally I was going to use an Apple IIe, but unfortunately my Apple IIe died. So I was provided with another Apple II computer, and it is an Apple IIGS. It's a 16-bit version of the Apple II. Apple they made it, and they kind of tried to bury it because they didn't want it to compete too much with their Mac computers. You'll at least want a memory card or memory expansion. This one's a 1 meg. That will suffice for what we're doing. You will also need a PC with a serial port. You can use a serial card, PCI serial card if you don't have a serial port. Today we're going to be using an Optiplex 380 with Ubuntu installed on it. You will also need diskettes that you want to recover, some blank diskettes, and a mini DB8 or DIN8 to DB9 or DB25, depending on what size serial port you're using. Depending on what kind of cable you have, you might need a null modem cable or a mini null modem. You might need some adapters. Alternately, you can use a USB to serial. This is a model U232-P9. It has the Prolific chipset in it. Avoid anything with the Prolific chipset in it. It is a terrible clone and does not work with Linux very well, and it doesn't work with Windows 10. Okay, with everything hooked up, now it's time to turn the Apple on. And what you're going to want to do is you're not going to want to have any disks in the floppy drive just yet. You're going to want to turn it on and hit Control Reset. Reset is this little button at the top of the keyboard with an arrow on it. And your control button is right here. So we'll turn it on. Control Reset. And we're going to have this screen right here. For each Apple computer, this will probably be a little bit different, but on the Apple IIGS you're going to want to type. Make sure your caps lock is on. IN number sign 2 and hit return. And you're going to press Control and A, and you'll have a blinking question mark. This is where you're going to type 1, 4, and B, and then the question mark disappears. We're going to connect the serial cable, and we want it to plug into a male serial port. So we'll plug that in, and then I'll hook up the rest of the PC, and we'll start the rest of it. Alright, now you just want to boot your PC. And this is a whole lot easier if you use Windows or Mac OS. And on most modern Macs you will not find a serial port, so you will have to buy a USB to serial adapter, which works perfectly fine. I've used the better serial adapters for connecting to Cisco routers under Boot Camp Windows 7, hooked up to a DB9 RJ45 cable, so I know they work. Alright, you have heard of Java and everything else installed properly on your Linux box and have given yourself permission to use the serial port, which is not already done for you even though there's one installed. Fire your ADTpro client or server, and first thing you want to do is go to File, Serial Configuration. If you have everything set up properly, it will see your serial port. You can just leave these settings alone, except in the case where I'm using a mini DIN 8 to DB9 cable that I bought off of eBay, and I don't need an L modem, so I'm going to turn on the Apple IIc with image writer cable, and then just click OK. Then you're going to click on serial, and you should be connected to the Apple IIe. Alright, before we change camera angles, I got to show you one more thing. I'm going to go to bootstrapping, ProDOS, and then click on Speedy Boot. And it's going to tell you to type in what we typed in on the Apple II already, the IN2 number 2, hit enter, even though it doesn't say it. And then you're going to do the Control A and then type in the 14B, but you will not hit enter. Some systems require a Control I. So when we're ready to go, we're going to click OK. Alright, with everything set up, press OK on the ADTpro server. And this is what you should see on the Apple IIGS. Now it's checking for floppy drives, and then you should be presented with this menu. For this next part, you're going to need a 360 kilobyte double-sided single density floppy disk. This next part is very important. Well, not that important, but this just makes things easier should you run across a disk that crashes the Apple II during transfer. Alright, so this next part, put your floppy disk in the floppy drive. I like saying the word floppy. And you're going to hit R for receive. I'm not sure what the file name is, it's not important, just hit return. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to load, you're going to want to receive the ADTpro 2.0.1 disk, depending on what version of the server you download, and then hit return. Then it's going to check out the drives, and then we're going to pick this one, the 280 block floppy drive. And it's downloading the file off the server onto the floppy disk. Alright, for this next part, alright, now it's done, you just press any key to continue. I'm going to show you how to do batch, which is basically just one after the other. I've got a handful of Apple II, AppleWorks floppy disks that were all poems. So we're going to take ProDOS ADTpro client diskette out of the floppy drive, and then we're going to insert the first disk. And then we're going to press B for batch. And then since these are all poems, we're going to choose poem. Then prefix. And then again, it's going to look at our drives. We've got a RAM drive and memory. And then we got an AppleWorks disk with poems on it. So we're trying to arrow down, choose that, press return. It says insert the disk, which we've already done, so then press the key to continue. And that sends the disk. We're still in batch mode. We just copied the first disk to an image to the server. So we're going to take that disk out, set it to the side. It says complete, hit key to continue, so I'll do that on them. And then it says insert next disk to send. And these are all going to be, the disk images are going to be labeled poems on the server. So we'll put the disk in, hit key. And this is what it looks like on the server ends. And there it is. You get out of batch mode, you just hit escape on the Apple. Showing a single disk. Take the previous one out, set it to the side. Just keep going with these poem disks. We're going to send a single disk, so I'm going to go ahead and put one in. I'm going to press S for send, and the file name we're going to give it is poems. Mixed up, and then hit enter, and it's going to give you a list of drives, and you hit return, and then it sends it. And that is complete, so just press the key to continue, and it brings us back to the main menu. The server has the same status bar on single as it does for each disk in a batch. Alright, now that we have a few images copied over, go to your file manager. Go to the directory that you've got set as your working directory. When you download ADTpro, this is where you need to put all the ADTpro disk images at. But there's the poems, the single disk we copied, and then two of the poems 0001 and 0002 that we copied in the batch. And there you have it. Alright, there you have it. That's how you get Apple II floppies imaged and copied to a PC. Next week, I will go into more detail on how to make floppies should you want to boot and play games on your Apple IIGS, or should you want to write documents on it or whatever. That'll be next week.